All right, this is our second in a series of Sip Happens sessions, wine tasting. What we did last time in our first video, we went over a California wine. During this video, we're going to go over a Northern Virginia wine. And what are we going to do, Chris?
Today we're going to taste a 2018 Pearmund Cellars Cabernet Sauvignon Reserve.
All right, we've been to Pearmund before. We've tasted all of their wines before. We know their wine is pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the bottle. I'm going to put it in our decanter and aerate the wine. And then we're going to pour it in these wine glasses and taste it.
And we'll tell you a little bit about the winery.
All right, I'm supposed to use the actual top full cutter this time and not just rip it apart like I did last time. And got to take the cork out. So just like last time, we have this decanter that aerates the wine for us. So we like to decant our wine to aerate it. It brings out all the flavors and all the tannins and all the nice aromas that the actual winemaker wants you to taste and smell. Well, thank you, dear. Now I'll pour Chris some wine. Pour me just a hint, so I can taste it.
Cheers.
Got to spin it around a little bit in the glass.
Today I'm using a glass that my sister Alma got for me, personalized, so thank you.
Smells good.
It smells amazing. So initially, after swirling and taking in the aroma, I definitely get blackberry and definitely get some fruit-forward aroma right off the top of this. A little bit of tobacco too. Probably have to taste it to get more of the cocoa and maybe some of the plum. And I noticed on their website they even mentioned cola.
I got some leather glove in there somewhere.
We'll have to tell that story, I think. Very delicious. This is a really nice full-bodied wine. Tastes really good. We are actually club members at Pearmund Cellars, and we've enjoyed their wines for several years. The bottle itself retails for about $44 if you buy it at the winery. You can get discount if you want to join their wine club, or if you go there on a holiday weekend, you can usually get a pretty good discount. When you join their wine club, you're billed quarterly $75 for 3 bottles, and on pickup days, you can get 20% off of anything you purchase. So that's a really good time to make sure you stock up on some of the reserve wines and get that 20% off for sure.
It's really good wine. I mean, we've been to several wineries in Northern Virginia since we live here. And when I say several, I don't know, 25, 30 wineries over the last...
Not all in one day.
over the last 15 years. And Pearmund has usually had some of the best wine we've tasted in these Northern Virginia wineries. They also have some other, what would you call them? Sister wineries?
Yes, so Pearmund has 2 sister wineries. They have Vint Hill, which is in the Vint Hill area and is in an old listening post on an old farm. It actually has a Cold War museum next to it. Very cool if you could check that out. They actually have an Enigma machine in the Cold War Museum if you're familiar with the Enigma machine. And then the other sister winery is Effingham. It's in an old Effingham Manor home. And as you can imagine, they have a little bit of fun with the name. I actually have a t-shirt. So you can see that. Virginia is for effing wine lovers.
And that's from the Effingham Winery.
So you can see how much fun they have with the name.
Yes.
So visiting any of those wineries is a good choice. They're all a part of what they call the Pearmund Pyre, which is actually a pretty cool name. You can actually get a glass that has all 3 different wineries on the glass, which is pretty cool. Sometimes on Valentine's Day and other holidays, they'll have a triple pass where you can visit all 3 wineries in that day and get a unique treat or do specific tastings for each. So just some fun things to do. It's actually a pretty great setup.
The Pearmund Winery itself, it's had some of the oldest vines in Virginia. It's a very kind of a casual winery. You go there, You can either do a tasting at their bar, or you can grab a tasting and bring it out to your table, or you can just hang out outside, get a bottle, and just chill with your friends and just kind of sip, talk, people watch, whatever you want to do, whatever you like to do out there. I think you can bring your pets.
You can bring your pets. So the winery itself is actually 21 and over, but they do have a farm store that they opened recently on the property that you can bring your children to. You can purchase some items. You can picnic on the grounds and sort of have more fun with the children over in that area. One other thing I wanted to point out that David mentioned, the oldest vines. It's actually the oldest Chardonnay vines in the state of Virginia.
Ah, Chardonnay, yeah. I forgot that part.
One other thing I wanted to mention about the winery, Pearmund Cellars, is they have a great variety of whites, reds, rosés wines. So there's something for everybody. If you like sweet, dry, red, white, you're really going to enjoy the winery.
So that's some background on the wine and the winery itself and the sister wineries. I guess we'll just enjoy the wine now.
One other great thing for red wine is to cook with it. I am by no means an expert, but one thing I have enjoyed doing since the start of COVID, I've gotten pretty comfortable with my Instant Pot and started making something that I had wanted to make for years, but I didn't want to have to do all the work of prepping, which is a lot of time in the oven, a lot of time on the stovetop, and just a lot of things that I didn't want to do. It seemed like an all-day chore. The Instant Pot makes life a lot easier, especially for short ribs. And so one of the items that's great in short ribs is red wine. We like to use a drinkable wine as the basis for the sauce for the red wine braised short ribs. So today I will be using 1 cup of the Cabernet Sauvignon Reserve wine. Should be pretty delicious as the base sauce in the Instant Pot. So that is one great use. You don't have to use a $44 bottle of wine per se. I'm only doing it today because we happen to open the bottle. And I do like to use a good Cab Sauv in the red wine sauce. But you could use something a little bit cheaper off the shelf, a good Merlot, a good Shiraz, that's on the cheaper end. But make sure it's a drinkable wine because it is the basis of your sauce.
One quick thing, the Vivino app. What does this
yes.
Vivino app say about this?
Let's see if it's working this time. It did not work well in session 1. Hold that, but don't drink it.
Well, thank you. I have 2 now.
So I've opened the Vivino app on my phone, and down here is the camera button. So I will hit that button, take a quick snapshot of the label, click on the Use button, and bam, my phone's already vibrating. It's already popped up. You can see there. Has the bottle, Pearmund Cab Sauv Reserve 2018. Says it's a 97% match to the types of wines that I enjoy. Shocker.
Wow. You must like it.
I must really like this. There's a lot of actually great reviews. It gives you the region, Virginia, grapes, Cabernet Sauvignon. It gives you a nice description. It also talks about the oak, tobacco, and cola, blackberry, black raspberry, and plum. And it says it's a earthy leather forest floor.
I told you I tasted leather.
Forest floor. Does that mean that somebody licked the forest floor? How do you taste that?
I've tasted the forest floor when I used to play football. But
that's pretty funny. Maybe that's where it comes from. Somebody that played football made this wine. You can also see a lot of reviews on here. They actually have a lot of great reviews for this wine. Some people talk about cinnamon and tobacco. Other people talk about, someone here mentioned viscosity and long legs.
Uh-huh.
So Roderick is onto something with that look at that legs tagline.
Yep.
But anyway, so if you check out the Vivino app again, it gives you tasting notes, it gives you the name of the wine, tells you where it was made, what type of grapes, a lot of great reviews. It'll also tell you where you can buy it and for a specific price. I'm just glad it was working this time.
That's a pretty cool little app.
He just reminded me of something we were going to say. Oh, we were going to talk about the leather glove story.
So Northern Virginia is when we first started kind of getting into going to wineries and drinking wine. And one of our first soirees into wineries was the Pearmund Winery itself. So we kind of got an understanding of wines through that winery and maybe a couple of others, but mainly the Pearmund Winery. When we went to a tasting there, you look at tasting cards and they'll tell you, well, while you're tasting, it'll tell you that maybe the different tastes and smells that you'll get from that wine. And one interesting thing, and one that we kind of laugh about, is at the end of one of them it said leather glove, and I'd never seen or heard of that before, and I'm like, wow, leather glove. It's like, you know, I played baseball, you know, in high school, and I had a leather glove. Is that what they mean by tasting leather glove?
I wondered if someone threw a leather glove into the vat. I didn't know.
So there you go. But apparently there's a taste, and I kind of get it sometimes where there's a leathery taste.
Or an aroma, the aroma itself of the actual, if you imagine yourself pulling a leather glove out of its new packaging and that initial smell you get, I think that's kind of what they mean by that too.
What do you think about it?
I think it's awesome. It's going to be amazing in the short ribs later today.
Does it pair, what is this, salami? Mm-hmm. Does it pair well with salami? We'll see.
Inquiring minds want to know. Let's see.
Yes.
It goes really nicely with the salami. It's pretty good. This is just regular grocery store sliced salami.
Yeah, it's excellent wine. It's something, you know, slow sip a glass for hours.
That's actually how I learned to enjoy red wine when I was a little younger and we first married. When I was when I was a little younger. Damn it.
You were a white Zinfandel girl back then.
Yes. Almost 30 years ago when we were first married, I mostly drank white Zinfandel, more of your sweet Moscato wines. I enjoyed the aroma of a red wine. I enjoyed smelling what David was drinking. I would sometimes just ask to smell what was in the glass, but the taste was too bitter and I couldn't do it. I tried to take sips and I just didn't enjoy it at all. It wasn't until over time that I would start to slow sip on something, and that's kind of the advice my husband gave me, was just take little tiny sips, just kind of let the flavor kind of grow on you, and take a couple more sips and you'll notice that the flavor of the wine changes. There was actually one red wine that I would like to review in one of our upcoming Sip Happens sessions. Coming up maybe in the third or fourth session, we'll do that actual bottle of wine, which is the one that actually really taught me to enjoy sipping on red wine. I won't give away the secret yet.
Yes, it's a big secret that will be revealed in 2 more sessions.
So stay tuned.
Sip Happens.
If you're enjoying these videos, make sure you hit the like button and let us know that you're really enjoying these. We'd also love it if you drop us a comment. Let us know if there's a specific wine or region you'd like us to review or check out. We'd also love it if you subscribe and support our channel. Really appreciate all of you guys watching, and thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks. Bye. All right, so, oh, you're looking at me, I'm sorry. All right, so this is our second in a series of Sip Happens sessions. I screwed that up too, didn't I?
No?
I thought I did.
Sip Happens session. Yeah. Say it really fast.
Yeah.
We are going to look at a... look at...
We're crushing it today.
Maybe we should have had some wine first.
Yeah.
Okay, note to self. Have a glass of wine before you do these videos. Oh my god, I'm totally red. So... making faces. He's making faces.